Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join me today for this meal prep where I am going to be making some of my favorite fall comfort foods. It's getting cold here in Michigan, so I am ready for comfort food season, and I'm going to start today with making my lentil loaf, and I'm actually going to turn it into a shepherd's pie with a mashed potato cauliflower topping, and then I should have some of those mashed potatoes left over for another meal. I'm also going to be making my new favorite inspired by my sister, mac and cheese and peas. It's so delicious. So those are going to be my two main starch dishes, and then I'm also going to make a big stir fry of vegetables along with, I have extra broccoli to steam on the side, and then I'm going to marinate some mushrooms, and I marinate them basically the same way I make like carrot dogs or carrot bacon, and I'm going to marinate those for a day or two, and then I can do them up in a pan with a little veggie broth, and it's like, I don't want to say I'm trying to replicate steak because I'm not, but it's like that meatier kind of portion of your dish where I'll have mashed potatoes like I mentioned left over, and then the stir fry veg or the broccoli. I also have frozen Brussels sprouts, and so then with those mushrooms it's like a really good meal. So that's what's on the menu for today's meal prep, and I'll try to walk along step by step to show you what I'm doing. So to begin, I need to get my potatoes peeled and in the Instant Pot. While those are pressure cooking in the Instant Pot, I'm also going to have lentils cooking on the stove. Lentils take like 15 to 20 minutes, so during that time, I should be able to get all of my vegetables chopped up for my lentil loaf so that when the lentils are done cooking, I can put that together and get that in the oven. After I get the lentil loaf in the oven, I'll get the macaroni on for the mac and cheese and peas, and I'll blend up the potato cheese and then chop the vegetables for the stir fry, and then I just need to get the mushrooms marinating, and that's gonna be it. I feel like this is a pretty simple meal prep, but it's gonna be super delicious. So let's get started with getting the potatoes in the Instant Pot, the lentils on the stove, and chopping the veggies. I forgot to mention it is 8:30 a.m. Let's try for a 2-hour meal prep, but we know how that goes. For potatoes today, I'm doing a 5-pound bag of the gold potatoes, as well as all these leftover russets I have. Okay, 15 minutes later, I've got all my potatoes peeled. Let's get those in the Instant Pot. So I should have enough potatoes peeled to make my potatoes with cauliflower and my potato cheese. So I'm gonna put my baby carrots in the bottom of the Instant Pot. That way when the potatoes are done, I can pull the top ones out and mix those with the cauliflower, and then the carrots and other potatoes will be in here ready to make potato cheese. These are the russets I had left over. So I did the russets on the bottom, so those will definitely be in the potato cheese, and I'm doing the gold ones on top because I want those to be blended with the cauliflower and be the topping for the shepherd's pie lentil loaf. Let's hope these all fit. And then in my Instant Pot, I do pressure cook, potato, and I think that usually takes about 30 minutes. I'll post a link to the full recipe video for my lentil loaf. That's what I'm referring to, but it's 1 cup of dry lentils, and today I'm going to do part red and part, are these brown or green? I can never remember. So about a 1/2 cup of each. Time is flying by. But the veggies are done. It's time to put the lentil loaf together and put that in the oven. So I divided my lentils in half of them in my Ninja that are gonna get blended up with these vegetables. The other half just set aside. I'm gonna mix everything together before I put it in the loaf pan, but I don't want all the lentils like, that's the word I was looking for, Penny, mushy. So I've got my lentils and my veggies in here, and now I'm gonna add my seasonings. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I don't really ever use an entire can of tomato paste, so after I use a tablespoon or 2, I'll take the other tablespoons, put them on some wax paper, put them in the freezer, and then I do like a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then like a tablespoon of soy sauce, or I've seen other recipes that use the vegan Worcestershire, but I've never seen that in a store around my town. And then I did a ½ cup of oats, and I made a ½ cup of that into flour. I'm gonna mix that with the whole lentils with the mushy mixture. The other ½ cup of oats I'm gonna put in the mushy mixture. Now we'll blend this up, but not too mushy. So this is the consistency I like, where you can still kind of see the vegetables, but it's pretty well blended. So did anyone else notice that I forgot to put water in the Instant Pot? So the potatoes are starting at square one. They're still gonna need about another 30 minutes, but that's okay. I'm gonna get the lentil loaf mixed up in the pan, and then I usually cook it for, I think, 20 minutes without the potatoes on, and then I'll add the potatoes. So I just went to go start chopping veggies for my stir fry and realized I forgot to put mushrooms in the lentil loaf. Like, that is a big bummer. And I felt like I was forgetting something, but I was looking at my recipe, but oh well, I'm not gonna let it stress me out. More mushrooms to marinate, I guess. Lentil loaf is out of the oven. I need to make my mashed potato cauliflower topping to make it a shepherd's pie. Stir fry veggies are ready to get going. Pepper, onion, kale, and broccoli. And those usually take about 7 minutes. So I need to sort some of these out to mix with the cauliflower, get the lentil loaf shepherd's pie in the oven, and then make my potato cheese. So I'm trying to make this shepherd's pie topping half and half with riced cauliflower and mashed potatoes. So this is a 24-ounce bag of riced cauliflower that I just did in the microwave to have one less thing to cook today. So I'm gonna mix this up with my mashed potatoes and some like garlic powder, onion powder, a little salt and pepper. And then we'll get that on the lentil loaf and back in the oven. Gonna do 20 minutes on the lentil loaf, and hopefully everything else will be done when the lentil loaf comes out. My stir-fry veggies are all done, just need stirred up and put away. Need to put away the rest of the cauliflower mashed, and I need to turn this into potato cheese. So right now I'm gonna get my macaroni boiling and get the potato cheese blended up while that's cooking, get all this other stuff put away, and I'm on track. Shepherd's pie out of the oven. It is 10:55 and the only thing I have left to do is make the marinade for my mushrooms, which today I'm going to do soy sauce, liquid smoke, smoked paprika, and garlic powder. So as soon as I get those marinating, I will show you all of my final meal prep. Meal prep complete. It is exactly 11 o'clock, so about 2.5 hours, but like I always say, you could probably do it in like a half hour less. I spend time messing around with the camera. So I am currently following Dr. McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss, but I feel like this is a meal prep you could definitely do following the Starch Solution as well. So let me show you what I did for my starch and my non-starch and how I'm going to put my meals together. This is the container of cauliflower and mashed potato mixture that I had left over. So the plan is to cook some of the mushrooms, and I like to eat those with A1 sauce and then with some mashed potatoes and some stir-fry veg or some other type of vegetable for a meal. So my mac and cheese and peas didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it. I was trying to save time by just mixing everything together in the Instant Pot where I made the cheese. I should have dumped the cheese out and then slowly added it back in so I had the right ratio of noodles and peas and cheese. It's a little soupy, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. That one looks real soupy. You can see the noodles a little bit better in this one. It smells delicious. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I actually think it'll work out real well to have this as the starch side of my plate and then make some steamed broccoli, and if there's too much cheese over here, the broccoli can scoop it up. It's all good. And then my lentil loaf shepherd's pie, I'll have to cut out a piece to show you what the layers of this look like once it cools. So I would almost consider this lentil loaf shepherd's pie a 50-50 plate by itself. If I would have remembered the mushrooms, I probably definitely would call it a 50-50 plate, because the topping is half potatoes, half cauliflower. The bottom is like half oats and lentils and half vegetables, minus the mushrooms. So maybe I'll eat that with some vegetables on the side, but if I don't, I'm gonna not stress out about it. I have my 2 tubs of mushrooms marinating for non-starchy veg. I would have liked to add A1 or a steak sauce into my marinade like I usually do for my carrot dogs, but I'm either out of steak sauce or it's hiding somewhere in my cupboard. Here's my container of stir-fry vegetables. And then I have all these raw vegetables left, which is definitely enough to make another stir-fry if I don't end up eating the steamed broccoli with the mac and cheese and peas. So those are just a few of my favorite comfort foods to eat in the fall when I'm following Dr. McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss. I definitely have a lot more ideas. There will definitely be more fall meal prep videos coming soon because I didn't even use pumpkin today, and you need pumpkin, right? I almost made chili today too. That is definitely coming up soon. Not to mention it's apple season in Michigan. So thanks for stopping by to watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Be well. Yes, Penelope. So right... Did you just fall? What was that? What's going on over here? What happened? So for potatoes to do... So the lentil loaf shepherd... Do I want to start that all over?